Hey folks, well I'm back. Seems like I have a little bit more time now. Got one day off this week, so I figured I'd throw in a video real quick and tell you a little bit about some of the stuff I've been doing. Um, in between work, I've been having fun with my family, and also during working hours, I did have the opportunity to go to the Warrior Expo 2011 down here in Virginia. Pretty cool. What is the Warrior Expo? It's basically a place where government and military, police officers, etc., people that are in that line of work can take a look at all the new products that a lot of these places come up with. And it's really cool because for those of us that use this equipment, it's kind of neat for us to see the new stuff that they're coming out with. And a lot of the new stuff, from what I see, it looks like it's just being built better and it lasts longer. I remember when I was in the military, well, I'm still in the military, but when I'd say about 5 years ago, a lot of the equipment that we were getting was really substandard. It wouldn't last very long. You'd purchase it, it looked good, you'd put it on, and within a year or so, or a couple months, you'd have to be replacing, let's say, the goggles on your flight deck gear. Now we're getting a lot better equipment, and it seems to be lasting a lot longer. It's like, wow, how long have you had those goggles for? 3 years? No kidding. So that's pretty cool. Same thing with boots. Boots are a lot higher quality, and it's not really costing the taxpayer much more money than it did before. So for a few extra dollars, the taxpayer is providing us with better equipment that's lasting longer. So it's pretty cool that we're having more or less the civilian market get involved in what we're purchasing. Now then again, we can get into politics and say how, you know, this controls everything, but I'm not going to get too political. But I like the equipment that we're coming out with. Some cool stuff that I took a look at. Loc Lock Sack. Check them out. Basically what it is it's waterproofing and humidity proof, etc., and it keeps a lot of your stuff dry, and you can also utilize your touchscreen devices through their bags. For those of us that have first aid kits, telephones, cameras, stuff like that, we go canoeing, we're up in wet environments, this is a really great way to keep our stuff safe. And I was pretty impressed with their products. So check them out, locsack.com. Really cool stuff. I liked it. They gave us a sample of their equipment, and it's working really well. Benchmade, of course, made a showing. Benchmade is coming out with some great new products. You got this new one that came out. I forget the name of the knife off the top of my head, but it's got yourself a seatbelt cutter. You got yourself a nice utility blade, carbide tip for breaking glass. This is a really nice looking knife. It's got some really nice scales on it, and they have a really nice feel to them. Just great quality products from Benchmade. I just love Benchmade. Benchmade makes some of the absolute finest stuff. Of course, if you're into the fancy blades that they do have some really nice autos, stuff like that. I'm not a really big fan of autos. They do have a new auto, and I don't know if it's actually new, but you know Benchmade has their axis lock right here, and that's like my regular blade that I always carry on me. Where it is right now, I have no clue. I guess I misplaced it. Fantastic. But the axis lock is generally not an automatic for automatics. It's for a flip. You flip your knife open. They've actually made this axis lock an auto knife, and it's cool because why it's cool is you can't really confuse it with your screws. Like, you wouldn't push the wrong thing in an emergency. And also it's ambidextrous because you have one on the left side and the right side. Really cool. So if you have the opportunity to pick up like the auto axis pull release for one of your Benchmade knives, really awesome. Works way better than the button ever did, and plus it looks like a regular knife, you know, but it isn't. It's an auto. Really cool. Really cool. It's the best of both worlds. Got to use that. I almost picked one up, but I've got enough knives, you know. You got your 2550 mini reflex. I have one of those. Great little knife. Fantastic. Benchmade knives are just indestructible. The Griptilians, great. That's a great group of knives. I just like the handle mostly. My Griptilian is having trouble staying as sharp as I like, but other than that, it's been a great knife. So Benchmade, again, making a great showing, and boy, I'd love to work for them one day. They make some fantastic knives. So that's just a little overview of what they got. They've come out with some really cool stuff. So it's just neat to see an American company doing really well and making a good quality product that really they're not trying to compete with the Chinese made knives. They're doing what they do best, and that's invention, American ingenuity. You don't try to compete with the Chinese because you're not going to win in their manufacturing, but you can beat them with ingenuity and coming out with new things like Benchmade does all the time. You know, there is no way that another company can really compete with you. By the time you're competing with them and realigning your manufacturing to compete with Benchmade, they've come out with a new product that makes the old one obsolete. So really exciting company. Cool beans. Let's get on to some knives though. You know, I've done a lot of work with the Gerber videos that I have, and that's because I really don't like the direction that Gerber knives have gone into, and I've gotten a lot of hate mail because of it. I've gotten a lot of people on me saying, you know, you're anti-American, etc., etc. I'm not anti-American at all. There's nothing wrong with holding American companies responsible for the stuff they come out with. Gerber will go out and pay some actor, you know, thousands of dollars to reimburse, I'm messing up that word, to support their product and to put his face on everything, but they're not dumping their money into the production or the knife itself, and that just ticks me off. You're selling a name, you're selling a person's face, and that really bothers me. Why do that when with just a little bit more research you can purchase a knife where they dump the money in the knife itself or in the manufacturing of that knife? This is how Gerber used to be, and I'm going to show you a Gerber knife that I think it was manufactured in the 70s or the 80s, and you can see they got the Magnum Hunter, and look at this beautiful sheath it came with. This was manufactured in the 70s/80s, and this is what made Gerber popular and famous, is their incredible knives. This is what Gerber knives used to be like. Alright, now I'm not busting on Gerber. Don't get your feelings hurt if you have a collection of all their 2000 models, you know. But this is what they used to be like. Beautiful. This sheath does not have one thing wrong with it. It is absolutely beautifully made. Now in the knife itself, let's check out this blade. Okay, this blade is razor sharp from the manufacturer. And then it's got this coating on the outside of it, which about 2 seconds ago I knew the name of it, Zytel, I think. And it's basically indestructible rubber, really grippy, conforms to your hand beautifully. And you're thinking, well, if this was made nowadays, it wouldn't be a full tang. This is a full tang knife. The knife goes all the way through. So it's basically indestructible. You have to snap the blade in half in order to break this knife. And not only that, is underneath this is all aluminum. You guys can hear that. The whole knife is molded aluminum. Great balance, you know, great balance in the knife. Fantastic. This is what Gerber was famous for. Beautiful knife. Okay. They don't make knives like this anymore. Okay, so you can bust on me and say that I'm anti-American, but this is this kind of stuff that made Gerber the popular knife they are today. And look at that. Just the etching is beautiful. Gerber, you can read it. It's not stamped crooked. Everything is just done wonderfully. Where do I get knives like this? Well, that's my secret. Eventually I will have a website, and a lot of these knives will be for sale. A knife like this, you can go right ahead and look it up. These knives right here sell for about $300 to $400. And that's because you can't obtain them anymore. $300 to $400 for something that was made, 30, 40 years ago. Never used. Pretty cool. And people are willing to pay that much for yesteryear's products because today's products just don't add up. Another product line, and like I said, eventually my website, when it comes out, I will be specializing in knives that you can no longer obtain on the market, but something about them makes them really cool, like this SOG. Check this SOG out. Wow, beautiful. Well, now SOG makes knives like this already. This is the Sportsman. Good luck on finding this particular model, but you can find one that, their models are all named differently, but they're all generally the same thing. They just maybe have something a little bit different. But what makes this knife special, it was made in Seki, Japan. So what SOG does is when a knife first comes out, a lot of times they'll have either the USA or Seki, Japan manufacture the knife for them, which makes them a superior knife because Seki, Japan is famous for the world's finest cutlery, period. And of course USA makes some great stuff too. But once the knife becomes popular and it goes into major mass production, meaning they're going to either issue it to the United States military or whatever, or they're going to put it on sale, they're gonna switch production to Taiwan. Now, as the knife is nice, it's pretty damn nice from Taiwan. Taiwan makes some really good knives, but do they make knives as well as Seki, Japan or USA? No, they do not. Well, this is one of the ones that was made in Seki, Japan. It is beautiful. Ran out of tape, but I need to eat my pancake anyway. So, to leave off, great little knife here. Not really little, you can see that. It's about just slightly over 7 inches. So you can see it's an awesome blade. Talking about home defense, right? Wow, SOG makes some really neat stuff. Beautiful. We'll see what else we got. Oh, Germany. Germany makes some really nice blades. This one also comes with a fantastic sheath. I'm really not in the mood to bust out, but wow, check this knife out. You ever seen something like this? Cool. You can hit that to baton wood. You can use that to chop through bone. You got these interesting serrations here. Razor sharp. Beauty. Stag handle. Got a lanyard for chopping. Interesting knife. This is the Explorer, made in Germany. Germany makes some of the finest knives. For a while they really took over our market, kind of like other companies are doing now, and that's because of economic decisions that are made by our current administration. That's what controls the markets. But Germany makes some real nice stuff. Now stuff from Germany is pretty expensive. This was the cheap alternative back in the day. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that's a rundown of some of the knives that I'm looking at. Absolutely beautiful. Make sure to always wipe down your knives when you put them into storage. And take care of them. It's alright to store a knife in a sheath if you're going to do it for a short period of time. But if you're going to keep it in a sheath, you really don't want to be storing it years on end because the sheath can discolor and it can also cause corrosion because it absorbs moisture. So that's really all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Pretty soon to come, my air gun, I am going to be upgrading the internal components. Look at that. I've got an aftermarket spring and it is beautiful. And I'm going to throw that inside my air rifle. We're going to see if that boosts it up a few. And also more to come. I'm going to do that video showing me chopping with my custom-made Lon Humphrey knife, which I've been using. It's fantastic. You can see it's getting a little grimy there. I've been using it, and it really is maintaining that edge nice, and it really sharpens up real easy. So I found that it's really easy to resharpen. I do have some knives that are custom-made knives, and you all are familiar with this little thing, that are kind of difficult to get a really nice edge on. And you know, this is ATS 34, which is it's a stainless steel. So one bad thing about ATS 34 is it is hard to resharpen. When you're in the carbon steels, that's where it's real easy to resharpen these knives, and it's great for a user. So it's something to think about. These 154, ATS 34, these stainless steel knives are fantastic, but they're just really hard to resharpen, and that's why the carbon steel knives are a lot more popular, period. They just really take on a nice edge, and they're just user friendly. I mean, if you were stuck out in the woods and you had to resharpen this knife, you'd be screwed without a diamond stone. This thing, you could do it on the side of a rock, you know. So something to think about. I'm starting to lean towards the old carbon steel knives, more so than these fancy blade materials that they're coming out with. So that's all I really got. Y'all take it easy. I hope you guys have a nice, well, week, because today is Sunday. All right, later.